All right, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you all with another live stream, another Q&A for you guys. Just making sure we are up and going all right. First and foremost, for those of you that'll be tuning in for the first time, either live or after this goes from a live to an actual video upload on YouTube, just wondering who the heck is this guy and how should I know that he knows anything about what he's talking about. My name is Griffin Thomas. Of course, like the name of the channel, I own the company Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business now over 3 years, and on this channel, I just overall, kind of update you guys throughout my overall business journey, be it, the pest control business, investing, whatever the case may be at the end of the day. We've been posting on YouTube for 7+ years as well, just documenting, like I said, my overall journey, updating you guys. How's it going there, Mr. Bryson? How's it going? And no, we just, come here, we go live fairly often. It depends on the season. Sometimes there's busier weeks and months than others, but for the most part, we try to go live at least on average about once a week for you guys, sometimes more. Again, sometimes if things get a little hectic, sometimes slightly less, but usually we go live at least once a week for you guys. We try to upload videos and all that stuff for you all throughout the way, all that good stuff. So if you're new, not already subscribed, do me a favor, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you don't miss any of the future live streams or video uploads. It's the easiest way by far to get any of your questions answered. Sometimes I may not have the answer for you, and because I don't know it all. None of us know it all, of course, but I'll try to answer best of my abilities, and if I don't know, I'll tell you. But these live streams are by far the best way for you to ask your questions. I don't always see everything, in the YouTube comments, even in our Discord now. Our Discord, by the way, if you're not in those groups, we have a Discord group, Facebook group. They're free to join. They're in my LinkTree. But yeah, we've had a lot of activity in Discord lately, and it's getting to the point where sometimes it's hard for me to even keep up. So the good thing about those groups is there's a lot of other helpful people in there as well. So you have, more of a resource than just me here as well. Let's see, get right to it. Bryson said, just curious, how hard was it to create your LLC for your business? Did you hire a company to help you set it up? Did it cost a lot of money? So no, it didn't cost anything. I did it all on my own. Trying to think exactly which, man, it's been so long now, 3+ years. I know there were some things that I did when it comes to like the DBA and all of that I had to do with like the local county. There wasn't anything with the city, technically speaking. At least there wasn't anything with the city, but for DBA and stuff like that, I had to go through like the county. I'm trying to think. As for the LLC, I forget if I set that up. It's some government website, I remember, and it's free. It's not rocket science whatsoever. You just literally input your name, what your company legal name is going to be. Like our legal name, since we are an LLC, like you mentioned, is Preferred Pest Management LLC. You put in the mailing address of the business, all the basic stuff, right? And then you don't even have to have, I'm trying to recall, I don't even believe you had to have no, because I didn't have mine in the mail yet. You don't even have to have like your pest control business license information, anything of that nature. I think you may have to have the NAICIS number, if I recall. Let me look it up here, make sure I have it right. NAICS, not CIS. So I think, if I recall, you may need this number here. I know there's other things that you'll need that number for. So if you don't have that number, may want to take a quick screenshot of that. I'll keep it up here for a second for you. Because like I said, if you don't need it for that, I know there's some other things from time to time you'll need that for. So not a bad idea to always have that handy. Just screenshot it. Make a separate folder, I always suggest, in your phone, like in your files of your phone, because I don't know if a lot of you know iPhones, I think Androids as well, they have actual files just like any other computer does. And create like a separate file folder for your business specifically. Just store this photo, the screen. May or may not, like I said, it's been 3+ years now since I've done all that, but it does come in handy because I constantly, like once a year, have to Google this damn thing for some reason. I think when it comes to like credit too, business credit comes in handy. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Let's go through let me go through the steps essentially that I went through as if I started my business. How's it going there, Freddie? Hello team, what's up? Happy holidays. Yeah, man, they're coming quick, aren't I guess, yeah, man, we're only 2 days now from Thanksgiving already. And then after that, you know what time of the year it is, Mariah Carey season. Let's see. So setting up LLC. I mean, I don't think it really matters that we're doing it in Texas. Of course, whenever you Google it, you're going to have all of these, LegalZoom, which I mean, if you want to do it in terms of the quote unquote fastest, things of that nature, I mean, there's a reason why they all claim to be the fastest and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's not rocket science. Oh yeah, I forgot. You do have to do, at least in Texas, you have to set some stuff up with the Secretary of State. I did forget about that. So again, this is going to kind of vary state to state as well, because of course you have your federal, for the LLC and everything, but then you also have some of your state laws and all of that stuff, which I believe it did cost some money. Let me see. I forget how much. I feel like it did cost something here in the state of Texas. So of course you have, sole proprietorship, general partnership, corporation. Again, like we always talk about, this is a tax election. It has nothing to do with, your actual business. But then down here we have our limited liability corporation. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything in here. Business forms. So yeah, you could even go in here and like do a business search. If there's a commercial, job that you're quoting, you can direct them to the Secretary of State office and they can literally search and find out that you're a legit business. Let's see, corporation selection form. So report forms, trademark forms. So those are not what we need. Let's see, fee schedule. Yeah, like I said, it's been 3+ years since I've done this, but I'm looking for the federal one specifically. So, setting up federal EIN. So this is how, get this set up here. See where it says LLC right there. So then here's the form you need to fill out. There we go. We just found it for y'all. And this is straight from the IRS. Like I said, very, very simple, easy overall to fill out. Assuming you're starting out like me, you'll put that you're an individual. Now we are an S Corp. Don't fill this out based on what you're going to end up being. Fill it out as what you are day one. Don't worry about all the other little monotonous BS. You just go in here and fill everything out. Let me see. For setting up all that legal stuff like LLC, business license, how long would you say it? So from start to finish, assuming you have quote unquote all of the time in the world in terms of, let's say you don't have a job anymore, you're like me, I took my test on a Saturday. I lost my job earlier that week, as a lot of you guys know. It was a Monday or Tuesday, and studied my ass off, took the test, passed on Saturday, and then literally first thing Monday, obviously over the weekend, I got to work with like social media stuff. But in terms of the licensing and everything else, I started Monday morning. It took me, I want to say, till about Thursday. We could even say a whole business week if we wanted to. But overall, if you're using your time wisely and just doing these simple Google searches and finding the right websites that you need to find and, right contacts that you need to find, you're probably looking at overall 1 week. Now, of course, again, state to state, county to county, if they have some stupid regulations in place that, from the time you file this, we have to wait 72 hours. You know how government can be, right? Sometimes certain jurisdictions have these just stupid laws, right? For whatever reason. I think it's because they're lazy pieces of shit, personally. But different topic for a different day. Overall, if you have a more lean government, so to speak, in your area, chances are it's going to be a little bit sped up. Ironically, you would think the more bloated the government in terms of bodies that they have available, it would speed it up. But I found, here in Texas, everything was very, just boom, boom, boom. Everybody was very helpful. Like I said, I had to go actually to downtown Dallas. I think it was the county clerk's office, if I recall, to fill out some forms as well. They were very helpful. They gave me like a sheet of contacts. I think I even still have it in my original folder over here, of just a whole bunch of different phone numbers and things like that. So, don't be afraid to ask questions. They're there to serve you at the end of the day. You pay their salary through your taxes. So don't be afraid to ask questions if you're confused about something or worried about doing something wrong, right? Of course, I probably should have said this at the beginning. None of this is any, quote unquote legal advice or anything like that. It's just me, simply kind of answering your questions to the best of my capability. It's more for educational and, oh my God, what's the legal verbiage? Educational and entertainment purposes. You gotta love legal BS, right? Another question about time. How long did it take you to get onboarded with Griff? So, in all honesty, I don't know if it's just that I have a knack for technology. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm by no means a tech guru or anything like that. In some things, I can be very technologically challenged, to be honest, but I didn't really onboard. They called me relentlessly, every day or two when I signed up. Because I didn't get any type of free trial or anything. I just hopped right in whenever I did hop in because I'd already heard about them. I watched a lot of their videos in terms of just review videos and also just tutorials. And when I finally decided to hop in a couple weeks after starting my business, I just hit the ground running. I didn't really do any type of onboarding. I just got it set up. I took a CSV file of the 5 to 15 customers that I already had in place. And I don't even think I did that. As a matter of fact, I think at that point, again, I'm technologically challenged at this point because I virtually had no technological experience with business or anything. I literally just copied and pasted all my customers' information in the old school way. And just got it up and going from there. I didn't, go through any type of onboarding process. Now, if you're wanting to do that, kind of have someone there, their support is really good. Generally speaking, I have heard, because of course I talk to all sorts of different pest control owners down here in the Dallas, Texas area. I've heard of, an older guy who was very, very technologically, handicapped, we'll say, who he ended up actually he used Gorilla Desk and now he uses Jobber, I think, which, by the way, I would never suggest. Just, not worth it, in my opinion. Jobber's more of a construction, I guess, something, maybe plumbing, those type of fields. It's great for those one-time type of jobs, in my opinion, but, Gorilla Desk is obviously by far, the best in my opinion from my experience. But overall, like I said, if you want them to kind of walk you through stuff and you want to, learn everything step by step, even for that guy, it sounds like it only took a week or two. And for him, it's just more preference more than anything. He liked, the simplicity of Jobber, where Gorilla Desk, they're slowly but surely becoming a lot more, I couldn't imagine how this guy would use Gorilla Desk today, because they're getting better and better, which is great for those of us that want to see those KPIs and things of that nature. But, for some people that just want to kind of stay a one-man show, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So it just depends on your level of technological, comfort, I guess. Like I said, for me, I hopped right in, day one. I mean, don't get me wrong, like anytime you use a new CRM or anything like that, you're going to have like some little like, oh shit moments. How do I do this? How do I do that? Freaking water bottle fell. Things of that nature. But, overall, it's not rocket science to learn or anything. But maybe, a week, and then after that, just as you go throughout learning about new updates and things like that. Finding the right CRM is important. I had a NYSDEC audit. Oh, I'm assuming that's kind of like our TDA, Department of Agriculture, audit today. And reporting was huge for us. Passed with no issues. Awesome. Great to hear. Yeah, I just had mine. I guess it was almost 2 months ago now. It was like towards the end of September, if I recall, September, October. And yeah, same here. She was very grateful that I had stuff like already ready to go. Speaking of which, I don't think I ever made an update video to that for you guys. I'll have to like make that video. But yeah, it's great to hear. Man, speaking of like this business, I got some Lambda 9.7 on my nose today. And even after taking a shower, it's kind of bugging the hell out of my nose. Let's see, what's going on, Crump Man? Gorilla Desk is good with free trials to check things out. Exactly. They extended my trial. That's awesome. Yeah, they extended the trial a few times to learn the system. Yeah, and I didn't even know they did that. Like you said, their free trial is great. We have a link for you guys down in the description box where it says my LinkTree. There's a link in there where you can try Gorilla Desk Pro, like their best version out for like 2 weeks or so for free. And then I think it's like $99 a month, if I recall, going forward. It's definitely worth it, in my opinion, and I'm interested to know if Crumpman is, same page as me when it comes to this. It's worth the $50 extra to go ahead and get the Pro, in my opinion. The $49 a month version is just very, very bare bones. You get enough to, like we said, if you plan on just being a one-man show, very, small, you just kind of want to make $50,000 to $100,000 gross sales per year. You could probably get by with the $49.99 a month, but even at that rate, in my opinion, if you're doing $100,000, what's an extra $50 a month? Like, you're talking $600 a year. I mean, that's not even 0.6% of your gross sales. So, yeah, I mean, to me, don't even mess around with I don't even know what they call it, like the standard version, something like that. Hopefully not going to be exposing stuff. No. Get off the map. There we go. Let's see. There's a way that I can see. Here we go. Pro plan. What was I gonna do? Was it settings? I was wanting to see. There we go. Plans. So, yeah, and now they even have the growth plan, which is, if you're not using something like Open Phone like we use, or Call Rail, which even with their growth plan, you're still going to want Call Rail, I found out. This is okay, in my opinion. It's a little expensive, but I understand, and it looks like they're adding some more features to it, so might want to hold my tongue on this. Sales pipeline reporting. Yeah, this is going to be more so for once you have like a sales team, in my opinion. Honestly, using something like Open Phone, Call Rail, along with the Pro plan will work 100% okay. But I think long term, the growth plan is going to be your best bet. Like we said, with the basic plan, it's kind of your bare bones, minimum stuff. Where the Pro plan, you get a lot more. You get the Zapier integrations, open API access, GPS tracking, email inbox, sync. You just get a lot more overall on top of, all of these basic features. The routing with the drive matrix, review generation, documents with e-signatures. There's just so much in here where, like we said, for $50, like, it's just really pays for itself, I guess, in my opinion. How's it going, John Gammon? Said doesn't, let's see. Doesn't take much. Set it up. Did it last month. Cool. Let's see. Got the $99. It's a cheap expense. Exactly. How's it going, Salvador? Hopefully everyone's having a good evening. And hopefully the stream's doing all right for you guys. If we have any audio issues or anything like that, of course, do not hesitate to let me know. But yeah, we were just talking briefly about Gorilla Desk. Like I said, I think there'll be a certain time where the growth plan makes sense for most people, up until, you're starting to look at hiring, outside sales professionals, things of that nature. The growth plan would start to probably make sense at that point. It just starts to get, a little bit more pricey. You're talking an extra $200 a month. So you definitely want to make it worthwhile. Now, obviously, at that point, you don't really have a need for things like open phone. So that does cut out, open phone for an entire year costs what's equivalent to like 1 to 2 months of this growth plan. So, like I said, who knows? We'll see. I'll probably just stick with open phone since I already paid for a full year. I forget how many months ago I started paying for that, like August. So we'll see where we're at by next July, August, and, just kind of go from there. But yeah, that's what we're using overall when it comes to our CRM. Get me a new office chair. And I'm trying to think, I meant to have some questions pulled up on my phone from our recent YouTube comments. And of course, if you guys have any questions throughout the way, do not hesitate to shout them out there in the comments. Just to shout out some of you all commenting and questions and things of that nature. Let's see who this is. Ray Brown said, actually commented on 2 videos the other day. Commented about, on our video about how to grow a 6-figure pest control business without door knocking. Had an interesting story actually in his comment. He said, to be honest, door knocking can be is very dangerous. I almost got beat up for knocking on a Nazi guy's door. Another time, there was a house full of Crip gang members. Man, that's the only reason I don't do that anymore. Man, must have been knocking on doors on Skid Row or something like that. But I've heard stories, especially, in Dallas, let me tell you. Like, I've heard some stories about people going down South Dallas and it being a trip, to say the least. So you definitely want to use some common sense and, be smart, stay strapped, things of that nature. In my opinion, a lot of it's common sense too. Like, don't be these door knockers that knock on no soliciting doors. Like, just use your head. But I get the point for sure. Ray Brown also commented on another video saying, I'm in Arizona having problems getting more clients. I have clients and they always tell people, so I get 1 or 2 occasionally, but it seems very slow, which is actually why I made the short that I made, yesterday, I believe, about, if you're kind of like just starting out, or even those of you, like, I know Salvador, if Salvador's still tuning in, might even be able to speak to this, more seasoned guy as well that's been around for a while. This time of year, it's always slow, right? That's one thing about it. Not to make excuses or anything, but like I was talking about in that quick short that I posted yesterday, as long as you're putting in the right inputs, maybe you can crank those inputs up if you want, go a little bit more heavy on your content posting, go a little bit more heavy on, asking for referrals. Like, you can always put in more input, but you can only put in so much So don't stress about it. Accept the fact that, hey, you're going to have some slower seasons, some slower days, slower weeks, slower months. But as long as you know you're doing what you need to be doing, just trust the process and, adjust things as needed. Don't, like we said, don't make excuses, be lazy, things of that nature. We all have lazy days and weeks even, but overall, as long as you're winning every month in terms of doing what you know you need to be doing, just trust that process and you'll get there. Bryson says, random question, how much percent is the credit card processing fee? So with Gorilla Desk, you would actually link either Stripe. Stripe and Square are the easiest ones to link to Gorilla Desk. Technically, with like the API access, you could link other ones. It would get a little more complicated, but we use Stripe, and ours is like 2.7% plus a penny or something. I forget the exact amount. I always just round up and say 3%, even though technically it's slightly less. But I just use 3% as an easy number. Just like I said, it's easier than doing the math on 2.7 or 2.9 plus a penny, right? Overall, it's very minimal. You're talking for out of every $1,000, less than $30. Just enough to notice it. And I see it as a convenience fee more than anything. But this brings up a good point. Please do not put on your invoice processing fee. Do not do it. I see it all the time. I did it. I'll admit it. I did it for like 2 days early on. And the pushback was so crazy that I was like, this is a fucking horrible idea. And I cut it immediately and just started pricing it into the service instead. And I see it all the time. And I see it with, we see it a lot of times like restaurants and things like that more than anything. Which still, that even blows my mind. I would think they would kind of catch on to it as well, because I see bad reviews even about it sometimes. I'll see these great restaurants that they'll have like a 4.5, and I'm like, how the hell does this place not have like a 4.9 or a 5? Like, I know some people you just can't make happy, but you'll go to the 1s and 2s and 3s, and I mean, half of them will mention card processing fees and how it's ridiculous and this and that, mostly from people who don't have a clue about business, right? But that's where, as the business owner, you got to pivot. If you see that people are complaining about this and that, hey, hey, it's 3% or 3.5%, whatever you were deciding to charge in that example, your total's $100. It's an extra $3. Well, to them, especially in hard times like we're in right now in this economy, that $3 is, getting them to and from work in terms of gas. You got to think about stuff like that. So, like I said, do yourself a huge favor. Don't even experiment with that like I did for 2 days. Just price it into your service. If you're normally charging $29 a month, charge $32 a month, or whatever the case may be, right? Hey, let's do the math real quick. What is... let's say you did up your price from, this is just an example, of course. Let's say you're normally charging $29 a month, and now you're upping your price to $32, so that's a $3 difference divided by 29. Instead of worrying about that little 3% charge, you just raised your prices by 10.3%, and nobody even knows a single thing about it. So that's how I ended up doing it, and we made more money on top of it. Do you have any employees yet? I'm thinking I'm getting close to reaching the right numbers. I did briefly, and technically, like a lot of you guys know, we have a 1099 guy who's been doing like all of our rodent exclusion work. I did just find out he's like 99% likely going to be moving to Florida to start the new year, which thankfully my brother is now in Texas as well, in the same area as me. He has a construction background. He's actually done a job with the 1099 guy recently. So my brother will be, taking over quite a bit to all of that. And we did have a W-2 technician for less than a month. Just didn't work out. Yeah. And it was for the better because looking back on everything, especially with some unseen expenses popped up that we weren't expecting, that added up quickly. We weren't quite ready yet, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Goal is to be hiring somebody again, actually hiring somebody by, next spring, summer. But, there's a lot that I've learned this last year for sure. It's definitely something that I'm glad I did, not just that, but, experiencing, moving into this house that we're living in right now. It's been a blessing. I always say like a blessing and a curse. I don't believe it. Nothing's a curse at the end of the day. If you learn from it, we're going to be, making some changes next year, starting in April, May. That is going to help the business out tremendously from a cash flow standpoint. A little bit of a lifestyle adjustment, to say the least. Let's see. What's the best way to ask people to leave you reviews? Man, I'm just upfront with them, to be honest. I tell them, one, that's the good thing about Gorilla Desk, too, is you do have your review generation tool where as soon as I hit completed on a job, it will send a review request via email. And I tell them as well before I even leave, after the initial service or after other services, if I remember they haven't left a review, I will tell them, hey, by the way, especially when I can tell like they're thoroughly pleased, they like me, all that stuff, which, you see the telltale signs, right? I'll just tell them up front, hey, by the way, you are probably going to receive a Google review request via email and text. The link, it's not a spam link or anything, because sometimes people will think that because it'll show up as like a little shortened link and it looks kind of spammy. And I'll tell them it'll just take you straight to our Google review page. And if you leave us a review, we greatly appreciate it. Send us a screenshot of that review and we'll give you $5 off of your next service. There is a debate on whether that is against Google's guidelines or not. Technically speaking, it is not. We are not paying the customer. Now, you said I'm going to send you $5 to leave me a review. That's obviously breaking Google's guidelines. For giving a $5 credit on money that, was never passed along from you to the customer, from customer to you, that's technically not against Google's guidelines. So that's what we do. And sometimes I flat out forget to even mention the review credit. And I'll just be like, when I'm in a rush, I'm just like, we greatly appreciate any review, blah, blah, blah. We get reviews that way as well. But that is by far the easiest way. We do have QR codes as well that, if you're not as, I don't want to say shy, but if you're a little more out there, in your face type of person, you could ask them, hey, by the way, do you have your phone on you? And I've done it. I've gotten like probably a handful of reviews doing this. I created like a little thing on Canva. I don't know if I'll be able to find it because it's probably like just way down here. I don't know where it would be. But we created like this little QR code that people could scan, and it would take them, just like with the email or anything else, it'll take them right to our review page, and they would scan it right there on the spot, do the review, and get their $5 credit right then and there, before even completing out the work order. Damn it, I'm not finding it now. I wonder if I might have passed it already. Let me see. I'm trying to find it for you guys. Got so much shit in here. I need to go through and delete a bunch of this crap. Let's see. And this is our little door hanger that we made too. Or not door hanger. Little, oh my gosh, those little yard signs or whatever. Where the hell is it, man? Oh, here we go. Leave us a review. Just something simple. And when you pull it up on your phone, of course, it just takes up like the whole screen because of the dimensions that we made it. Just plain and simple, just like that. You just pop it up on your screen. They scan it. It takes them right to that review page. And then, you're good to go. Oh, man. Been missing some of y'all. Let's see. Where we at? Salvador says, if you can manage any positive reoccurring growth during the winter months, you're doing pretty good. That's even encouraging to me. Me and my cousin, funny enough, were just talking about this. He was like, man, I'm like net -2 on the month. And me, I was like, I haven't even added my shit up yet. I was like, I know I'm net positive, just barely. We had one person pause. Trying to think if we had someone cancel or not. I don't think we've had any cancels in November, but we had somebody pause because inflation. She even mentioned it outright. She was like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, man, these damn grocery prices and everything else. Everything's going up but my wage at the end of the day. And I was like, I feel you. But I think overall we're net positive, like 3 on the month. Nothing crazy. It's actually been a slower month, but November is very... Started out with a bang, and then this last week or two, we've just been getting a bunch of bullshit. How do you go about getting a 1099 guy? I'm thinking of one for exclusion and one for termite. I don't feel like crawling under houses. So for the termite side, yes. Exclusion, that's another one where it's gonna vary state to state for exclusion services, but for the termite side, either, they need to be licensed through you, or they need to, be their own pest and termite company and have a termite license. Oops. I'm not trying to pin anything. There we go. Yeah, so termite I still do. It's just exclusion. But, for me, it's all been a blessing. I met my first 1099 guy through a buddy of mine who owns a pest control company nearby as well. And then, of course, like I said, my brother just moved down here who has background experience as well. So, it just worked out for me more than anything. Otherwise, I just, one, do the services myself, or B, just not accept them for now. Or just, do the standard baiting, trapping, catch release, that type of stuff. Do you put rodent bait boxes at every house you service? No. Or only if you sell them? Yes. And do you use just one or do you use 2? It varies. Usually I use 2 at the minimum. If we sell something like a townhome, right? Something where, one, I'll even tell them, I'll be like, look, I can set this out if you want, but the reality is you all share an attic space, so, it would help, limit the population, but I can't really make hardly anything in terms of promises, just because of the shared attic space. That's a rare example, but usually minimum 2. Standard home that's 2,000 square foot or less, I'll put between 2 to 4 out, depending on, the linear footage more than anything. Is it on a lot of acreage, or is it on a 0 lot line, or, like I said, there's a lot of variables, of course, that go into it. An average home has between 2 to 4, though, and it is a service that is upsold. The most that I have out on at a home right now is let me count. I'm doing the math in my head. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11, I believe. And this is a big home. This is I don't even know if it's the biggest home that I service, but in terms of the rodent side, it's by far the biggest home that I service. They pay $200 a month just for general pest quarterly, rodent control, and like rodent controls and, the baiting and mosquito service. That's it. And they paid $2,400 a year. A bit tougher economy-wise, yes, sir. Depends on the area and demographic. Good time to clean up expenses and watch for ROI more. Exactly. Winter is always huge rodent season for us, focusing on cross-selling. Yes, sir. Yep, we are on the same page, Salvador. That was actually what I was just referring to about lessons learned this year. How does the 1099 worker go? Just pay him and he does taxes. That doesn't matter. So, yes, to a certain degree. So, like, we use QuickBooks, and we will set them up a 1099 contractor in our QuickBooks. They'll, they get an email, they fill out their information for that, and yeah, you just put in there, once you have your bank accounts linked to QuickBooks, it makes it super easy because, like, we paid through Zelle, and that will pop up in our transactions, and then you just link it, to the contractor, and then at the end of the year, it shoots out is it actually 1090? Was it I'm trying to think, 1099 NEC form, maybe? Don't quote me on that, but, whatever form they're supposed to have for their taxes, it sends that out to them. You obviously have your record of, hey, this is how much I paid them, and that is like just a straight, it just comes right off of your bottom line, essentially. How's it going? All in lawn maintenance. Best way to learn the license part and testing. Any good study guides or schools? So it depends where you live. For those that live in Texas, the Texas A&M AgriLife is the best place to go. Texas A&M AgriLife. So they're going to be your best bet to go to. They have, of course, educational materials, programs, all that type of stuff. They're the ones that actually make the materials for the testing here in Texas. Now, again, that's for here in Texas. For any other state, it's hard to say. Best bet would be, I always say, when in doubt, start with your Department of Agriculture for your state. So if you're in Missouri, Missouri Department of Agriculture. If you're in Louisiana Department of Agriculture. And they may even call it something slightly different. But if you just type in whatever state you're in, Department of Agriculture, you'll be on the right path. If you don't find a lot, call them up. Say, hey, I'm looking to, get my license in X category. What do I need to do? Where can I get study material? Things like that. And they'll start pointing you in the right direction as well. Trying to get up to 1.5, 1.7 average services per customer. Getting as much out of each customer will be important for 24. Termite renewals, AG work, rodent baiting, exactly. Yeah, and I was really good at that my first year in business. I've been really, how do I say it? I've been really, I'm trying to, not talk too bad, talk too down to myself, but I've been really freaking lazy in terms of my selling lately. I've been more so and I'm not saying that you're saying you're lazy or your sales team's lazy either, Salvador, but I've been complacent, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, in terms of, that first year or so I hopped out here. I was selling everything to my customers. We call it the Preferred Protection Plan, where you're signed up for pest, termite, rodent, mosquito, tick, everything we have to offer. We started that as low as $99 to $129 a month, and I was selling them damn things. And now, obviously, there's an initial fee for setting everything up, of course. But I was selling those things like cupcakes. To this day, even, those are my bill payers. They pay the mortgage, pay all of my expenses at the end of the day. And I've gotten very complacent, I would say, in all honesty, the last 12 to 18 months. I even catch myself after I get off the phone. I'm like, dude, you've got to stop. You got to get out of this robotic, boom, boom, sell, next, boom, boom, sell, next. Like, it almost becomes kind of just like a trained monkey in your head, essentially, where, what's the issue? This is what we can do. This is the price. Boom. Sells or doesn't sell. Like, whenever you're getting 2 to 10 calls a day, right? Like, it can get very redundant, and when you're not as hungry as you were day one, you can get very complacent. That's another thing I'm probably going to talk a lot about more on this channel going forward, is fighting complacency. Because while you should look back on, your accomplishments as a business owner and all that stuff, you don't want to get complacent. A lot of people around you will tell you you're great, tell you this, tell you that. And in reality, you got to kind of keep a chip on your shoulder that you're not shit still. It is what it is. You're battling yourself at the end of the day. Oops, where did we go? There we go. I have 80-something monthly mosquitoes. Good job. I could use help getting those April through October. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I could tell this month because 99% of my mosquitoes dropped off this month. I had a couple that I still did this month, but I could tell just the workload this month just boom, tanked in terms of, like, I'm still getting paid on a lot of it because I always have our billing set up monthly and yearly, but I know what you mean in terms of that workload. We are increasing grassroots methods, more including developing mailers. And that. Definitely keep us updated on how that goes, Salvador, because there's been a lot of people, including me, interested in how the mailers, in terms of conversion rates and CPAs and all that good stuff. I put my QR code for website and review page on the back of my business card. Yes, you must have seen my video about the profitable business card. After you complete a service, do you leave any material behind, like a door hanger or a little sign in the lawn? Yeah, so I actually just ran out recently. That's actually one thing I showed you guys very briefly as I was scrolling through here. Hopefully I didn't already pass it. Oh, there we go. So we just have a, little, yard flag sign thing. It's like a 4x4 sign, nothing crazy. One thing I am going to do whenever I get my next batches is I'm actually going to change my phone number to a tracking phone number specifically for that, just to see, for tracking purposes, like, is there any legit ROI on these, or, is it just kind of, brand awareness more than anything. Boy, don't you love when your bottle cap thing gets stuck to the bottle and then the whole freaking seal decides to just come off with it. Let's see. How do you notify a customer that you're coming for a quarterly service? If you reach out and they didn't confirm the service, do you still? Yeah, for the most part, we learn very quickly when some customers are very tedious, which unfortunately, does happen occasionally. We try to filter that the best we can. Most of them are customers that were like day one customers that I was just happy to have. But usually, yes, we'll send that out because we set the expectations now at the beginning of their term as a customer that, hey, we're going to send a text usually the night before, and assuming there's no issues or anything like that. Sorry about that. That was one of them nasty burps. Assuming you're not having any issues or anything, we'll get everything taken care of. So it doesn't really matter if they respond or not. Now, if they don't respond and we get out there and say a gate's locked, we will service what we can, and we send a text before leaving, hey, just want to let you know, got the service taken care of. However, I did notice, there's a dog in the backyard. The gate was locked, whatever the case may be. If you would just, let us know if you start to have an issue on the backside of the house, let us know so we can come get that backyard taken care of. 99% of the time, people aren't going to care. And if they do, it's on them. Like, hey, we reached out to you. You didn't. And like I said, most people, they're understanding. They're like, shit, that's my fault. I'm sorry. I'll let you know if anything pops up. If someone's an asshole about it, then, whatever. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. What's going on, Lucas? How would you recommend going about pricing mosquito mister service? The company I work for charges $75 a month. So I actually don't do mosquito misting. So I guess I have a counter question for your question. When you say mosquito misting, are you talking about like backpack sprayer mist, or are you talking about the actual misting system? If that makes sense. Like, because they have those actual big tanks that you can set up like an actual mosquito misting. That's how I read your question. So if you're talking about that, I don't do that. I do have a customer that has that system. I just simply sent her a link on where to get it. But I think you said, backpack sprayer. So backpack sprayer, so if they just charge $75 a month flat rate, that's kind of crazy in my opinion. Like, I don't do a flat rate. I do what's called starting rate, which we start at $65 a month bare minimum. Usually when people call about mosquito, it is a great hook to get them in on our everything plan, because we'll explain to them, hey, the mosquito program, it's a bare minimum $65 a month. However, we do have this plan that's going to cover mosquitoes, ticks, termite. You just go down the list for them, and you say, and this plan starts as low as $99 a month. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be $99 a month. We got to come out, inspect your home, this or that, and we'll give you your price right there on the spot. But, generally speaking, it ends up being a better deal for you in the end. You end up getting, you can exaggerate it how much you want. I usually say 1 to 2 services for free for the whole year. How's that sound, right? But yeah, our mosquitoes, it starts out bare minimum $65 for sprays. Any more, we've been pushing people, like I said, either to that everything plan or the misting plus the Into Care system once a month, and to get set up is normally around $129 to $149, and then around $129 per month going forward. But again, everything varies. There's so much that goes into it, of course. Different parts of the country, for example, areas where they just have crazy cost of living, probably going to be way higher than prices in Texas and Florida, right? All in lawn maintenance at Louisiana. Yeah. So like I said, I'm assuming you're referring to what we were talking about study material. I would just look up, Louisiana Department of Agriculture, and then just start kind of working your way from there. I charge $60 to $125 per month for mosquitoes. So yeah, that sounds about right. What's going on? Prenan? What's the usual range of costs per call in Google Ads and Facebook ads? Oh man, that's a very loaded question. So just to answer John's question really quick, because like I said, that's a loaded question we'll get into here in just a second. So your big plan covers everything. Yes. Yeah, like pretty much everything. The only thing it doesn't cover, of course, is like possums, raccoons, squirrels, right? When I say rodents, it's like rats and mice. Pretty much it covers rats and mice, termites, general pests, mosquitoes, ticks, and then if they were to get them, fleas and fire ants. Fire ants, I try to be because we usually price it while we're there, I assess the situation, so I don't always include the fire ants in there. It just depends on the property. Do they already have fire ants? Obviously, if they have fire ants, then I'll, throw that in and adjust the price as needed. And we're very thorough with, kind of almost creating a plan for them, so that everything plan, it starts out as everything. And then if they don't need the fire ant, we'll cut that out, et cetera, right? Save them $20 a month or whatever the case may be. In Maryland, man, we got people all over the country tuning in tonight. Let's see. So for the average cost for Google ads and Facebook ads. So this goalpost is always moving forward, back, side, forward, back. Like, I've had Facebook or Google specifically, because I have way more experience with Google ads than Facebook ads. Been getting into Facebook ads a lot more recently, but with Google ads specifically, we run Google ads primarily in the spring, usually late February, March through, give or take May through late June, somewhere around there. And sometimes it's even off and on. So it's going to be the most expensive time of the year because that's when everybody is paying for Google ads. However, generally speaking, the cost per conversion, which would be a phone call, a website form filled out, things of that nature. Conversion is not an acquisition. That's one thing a lot of people get confused. A conversion means an action. An action has happened on the customer's part. They reached out to you. That's all a conversion is. Then you have your actual, a lead, right? Then you have your actual acquisition, which is how much does it cost to close the deal, right? To actually get a customer. So in terms of a call, that would be a conversion. The cost for conversions on Google ads, they're not horrible. We're probably talking, I want to say on the very low end, about $15 to $20. On the highest of highest, around $100. At $100, of course, you're getting up there. You're up there past the Google local service ads cost. But what all matters the most, like that. I don't remember if it was the podcast or on here that I mentioned it. We did like an episode or live, about what matters most, cost per lead or cost per acquisition. The cost per acquisition is what matters the most. The cost per call, the cost per conversion, while it is important to keep track of that because, of course, increased cost per conversion more times than not leads to increased cost per acquisition, you're still ultimately wanting to pay attention to that cost per acquisition the most. Because say I'm paying $5. Say an advertising agency comes up to you and says, hey, I can get you $5 per conversion. Doesn't that sound great? Oh yeah, sign me up. Okay, well, let's say you get 100 conversions, you spent $500 and you got 2 customers, right? Just hypothetically. So your cost per acquisition is what? $250 on that $500. You got 2 customers. You got a lot of conversions, but you only got 2 acquisitions. One, you're spending more money because that's a whole lot of conversations you're going through. And then you're also paying, $250 per acquisition, right? Where if someone tells you, hey, I can get you, a customer for $200, you're probably like, what the hell? Why would I want to do that? Like this dude over here said he can get me conversions for $5. Because it's manipulation, guys. It's sales. That's all that it is. You're wanting to focus on how much is it costing me per customer. Who comes out net positive on our example we just went over? The guy who offered you $200 per customer. You end up saving $50. Do the math all the way out. You end up getting way more customers out of the money that you would have spent with that other company, plus time saved, which equals more money saved at the end of the day. But to get back to the question, so when it comes to, like I said, for our Google specifically, there's so much that goes into that, but the minimum that I've paid is usually around $20 per, quote unquote call or conversion. And then for Facebook, we've had some recently as low as like $5, or actually about $5.88 to be exact. Don't want to undercut or overcut it. $5.88, but the lead quality has been a lot worse on Facebook. That I will say. Google ads, far more superior leads, at least so far from my experience. Facebook ads, a lot more quantity, a lot more message conversions. But I can show you guys right here, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to pull it up on my laptop because I don't want to expose anyone's information or anything. But just today, 1, 2, 3, 4 different, and And one is actually unread, as a matter of fact, right now. But for today, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. For today, you get a lot of spam on there as well. These whole like, oh, your page is going to be disabled, this and that. But just in November alone, just to give you guys an idea, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 different messages so far. And we've spent, let me see. And that's just messages. That's not phone calls or forms submitted. Let's see. We have a 155 balance plus 175, 213. So that's what? 388. We'll just call it 389. 390, 410, 510. About $565. Let's pull up the calculator here. Come on. Come on. Oh, let me guess, you're going to pull up like 10 calculators now. I knew it. Let's see. So 565. We'll just call it 20. We're not even going to include phone calls and stuff. So about $28 per conversion, which, like I said, it's probably closer to 25, maybe 24, 25. $23 per conversion. In terms of acquisition costs, it's been very high. But like I said, we're still kind of dialing everything in at the moment. But no, I mean, like I said, it just goes to show, like we've been talking about. I don't even know which I was on. The cost per acquisition is what you need to be most concerned with at the end of the day. Termite station, base stations. Pretty much monthly, yes. A couple of them you may only go to like 9 months out of the year, but yeah, for the most part they're monthly. Yeah, and that's good customer service too. Yeah. The customer, I've been super grateful to get those calls when they hear us just calling to check out things. Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, and some people think that that's counterintuitive. I do not personally. But some people, especially the bigger corporations, shocker, right? They see that as counterintuitive. I think sometimes too, it's customer to customer, right? If it's a customer you go out to once a month for stuff, you're probably like, hey, we'll take care of it next time we're out, right? But like you said, if it's a customer that, will go out there quarterly, things like that, or even bi-monthly, I think even bi-monthly it's warranted that, especially if it's been more than one service and something has been addressed, that is where I usually kind of start reaching out like, hey, I know we usually do this. This is the second time now that we haven't been able to, when are we going to, right? So like $1,200 per customer. Yeah. Whenever you're selling that, I mean, like I said, I have some customers on plans smaller than that. The example I was talking about earlier, they're just signed up for General Pest quarterly, mosquito service April through October, and then their rodent service, which is every month of the year. But this time of the year, I'm going out there for like 5 minutes. I'm going out there, popping the stations open, refilling them as needed, and then I'm out. And they're paying $2,400 a year. They're paying like $200 per month. I think it's actually just under $2,400. I think they pay like $190 if I recall. But it's a big house, big property. Like the mosquito service, every year by like June, June through September, I absolutely hate doing that house, and I want to raise the price like 50%. And then I'm sitting there doing the math, and I'm like, bro, you're actually making pretty good money on this house. Like, don't raise the price. But yeah, no, I mean, man, these burps are bad tonight, and I haven't really ate nothing today. I've been fasting. Yeah, no, it's not bad. I actually have a video, speaking of that. It's funny that you mentioned that. We have a video on the channel. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'll post it in the chat just so anyone that maybe hasn't seen it yet. So I see we got like 7 of y'all tuning in. That's awesome. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream too. If you are, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. It helps other people, find the channel, find the streams, all that good stuff. Let's see, where is that video? It was about how to get, like, there we go, $1,200 per, and I break down the math for you guys. It's a very good video, actually. We did a live, and then what I did, which I'm trying to be better about doing, when we do these, like, live streams that go 30 minutes to an hour plus, not a lot of people obviously tune in for the whole thing. So what I'm trying to do is, like, take a segment out of the live that I think has really good information for people, and then turn it into, a shorter video like this one. It's only like 13 minutes instead. So I'll post that in here and I'll pin it. Oops, did not mean to do that. Pin message. So I'll pin that in the chat. That way, if anyone wants to check that out after the stream. I'm surprised that video doesn't have a lot more views, to be honest, because it's by far one of the more, informative videos, in my opinion. But like I said, a lot of people may have already seen that live stream as well. So if you all have already seen that live stream, then there's no need to go watch it again, right? But yeah, that video we literally talk about, how to get $1,200, like the video says, per customer for the pest control business. I will say, my gosh, like we've been talking about, this economy right now has made it, I hate using anything as an excuse, but my God, it's been hard selling the last few months. It's been difficult. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been like having more gray hairs this last 3 months, even in my beard and shit, than the previous 2.5 years in business combined. Like, I have been having to sell my ass off. More so close than sell, but man, it's been crazy out here. And y'all can tell me if it's been the same for you guys. I know Salvador said that, can definitely tell there's some economic wins right now. Let's see. Appreciate all your info. Helped me a lot so far. Yeah, I appreciate you and everyone tuning in this evening and whatnot. Yeah, it's also, I like doing this, like, to network with people. And, like I always talk about on this channel, I wish that there's one common thing that I always notice whenever, like, I'm looking to do X in our business. There's just not a lot of content out there about it. So I'm just like, whenever I do find out how to do X, I'm going to post it for people, because, like, there's just not a lot of people that talk about, this specific topic, pest control. There's a lot of content about that out there about, how to market for e-commerce and how to do this for e-commerce, how to do that, how to do this. But when it comes to, like, the trades, pest control, plumbing, our, trades, quote unquote, there's just not a lot of information out there. And you have to sort through hours of just bullshit. People just trying to sell you their, SEO service or their marketing service, all this stuff, versus just teaching people. Like, I come across so many where I'm like, bro, if you had just gave me the information, the title of your video or the title of your website was, I would send you money just for that information. Like, I don't need your service. Like, you could make a service out of just giving us information. Like, it's just, It's crazy. Like, they almost want to work harder for the same amount of money. I'm like, I would pay you the amount of money that you're wanting to do the service just to teach me how to do it, so I never need you again. Like, and I can, teach other people, right? It's just, and like I said, all the information's out there. It's just, you gotta sort through. I mean, I have watched, oh my gosh, I don't even know, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of YouTube content, TikTok content. I don't even know what other platforms there are. I mean, stuff just on, standard internet browser. A lot of videos, a lot of audio, a lot of articles, a lot of just studies, just almost every single day. I'm not gonna lie, it gets tiring sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but that's what business is out here. Like, people glorify entrepreneurship, especially in today's day and age. Everybody wants to be a entrepreneur. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever figure you want to put on there, entrepreneur. But no one talks about, I don't want to say the struggle, because it's still, I would never change anything about, like, my life or anything like that in terms of the business journey. But no one talks about, like, everyone online will make it seem like, oh, this is just, I just wake up printing money, and, the 4-hour work week and this and that. But no one talks about the many days, many days, by the way, that you just wake up and you're like, fuck, I just want to go back to sleep. I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to wake up 2 hours later. Shit, now my whole day is running behind because I did fall asleep and I woke up 2 hours later. And just like, it can be depressing if you're not careful. And it's very normal, by the way. So whenever you get to that stage, which is going to happen a lot sooner than you expect, don't avoid it. Don't think there's something wrong with you. Don't run to a doctor who's just going to throw candy at you. And when I say candy, you all know what I'm referring to. Just know that it is completely normal. If you don't have that feeling, chances are you're in la la land. You're probably in the honeymoon stage right now. If you ask anyone that's been in business longer than 1 to 2 years, yeah, I would say 1 to 2 years. Yeah, for me, it's about 1.5 years in. Been in business longer than 1 to 2 years, they'll tell you they have days, just like what I'm talking about. But, this online entrepreneur, do what you love, hippie culture that we got going on right now, it's getting people obliterated, wiping people out, like wiping out their life savings, wiping out investment accounts, wiping out bank accounts, because, like, people believe the shit they hear on the internet about, you can quit your job, go live in a minivan, start a business online, not just online, but any business, start a business, be rich in 2 weeks. And then they get rid of everything, they put everything into that, and then 2 weeks goes by, and they're like, hey, why am I not rich? What am I doing wrong? What's going on? And then another 2 weeks goes by. I'm still not rich. I'm used to getting a paycheck. I haven't gotten a paycheck. It's been 4 weeks now. I would have normally had 2 paychecks. Like, people just get so used to, 1, the paycheck mentality, and 2, again, believing the BS that's all over the internet, that, it drains them to the point that, they're like, this is fake. They blame capitalism. They do that, it makes people that actually love the game and love the process look like complete psychopaths and just, bad people, when in reality we're just willing to do whatever it takes. And everybody has their point of enough is enough in terms of, success and what they're willing to do. But whenever most people believe, they're so gullible and believe what they read on the internet, see on the internet, this and that and the other, you can see why so many people are starting to go off in a direction of, get rid of the rich because, they throw their whole life savings away and, ruin their lives in a lot of cases because they believe bullshit that's on the internet. So, I will never glorify entrepreneurship. There is a lot of things that I love about it. I love that, I answer to me and only me. I love that, if I'm literally just not feeling up for it one day, I can say, fuck everything. I'm shutting down for the day. There's a lot of perks to it, but there's a lot that you got to be willing to do too. And that's what is oftentimes not talked about on the internet. Off my soapbox now. Let's see. Yeah, definitely getting harder. I feel that. Have you read E-Myth? E-Myth book has helped me a lot on what kind of business I want in the future. I know I haven't read it. I'm trying to think if I've heard of it or not. Yeah, bro, I started my business during COVID. First couple of years were kind of brutal. Same here. Yeah, I started mine late October, November, early November of 2020. We just hit 3 years, a few weeks ago. And believe it or not, for me, during COVID was actually the best. We grew the most in 2021. I guess from the time we started the business through about November, December of 21 was actually our largest growth period. And ever since about the end of 21 into 22, and up until today, we've just been kind of slowly but surely, chomping, getting more and more and more. We would have been light years ahead of where we are right now had I done some things differently and had I known what I know today, obviously, when it comes to local SEO, website SEO. There's things it takes time to learn, when you're doing it all yourself. That's what I always talk about. We have that, playlist on the YouTube channel, things I wish I knew when I started my pest control company, because had I known the things that I talk about in that playlist and on this channel in general, we'd be in a good spot. And I probably would not have moved out of our first townhome. And if I did, we'd probably be like just now moving because we just had our second kid this year. So we would have quite literally outgrown that place, but because it was a 2-bedroom townhome. But in terms of location, perfect location for local SEO purposes. My math estimates that we'd probably be getting an extra 10 to 20 calls a month just from the Google Business Profile alone. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that just I've learned in general. Not to mention the savings on personal spending and things of that nature. One of the things that I learned really quick is just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should do it. We were looking to get out of our previous rental because they just continued to raise the cost for literally no reason whatsoever. And with that, we justified this house because we wanted a pool, this and that, among some other things. I mean, it's a great house. I mean, best house that, this is a house that I didn't even know if I'd ever even be able to live in, just 5 years ago. Like, I thought maybe by the time I'd be 30 to 40 years old, I could be in a house like this. And that's if things went well for me. So the fact that I'm even able to do it, like, I'm totally grateful for. God's been good, everything else. But just because, you can do it doesn't mean you should. What we should have done was stay grounded and turn, like, we could have been dumber than this house. Like, don't get me wrong. We could have been dumb. But we're looking back at it now. We're like, man, we could have saved just in the rent $1,000 a month, and utilities probably another $400 to $500 a month. I mean, we had an electric bill this year that was $847. I mean, and for those of you that don't live in Texas, for Texas that is high. We could easily be saving about $1,400 to $2,000 a month since the beginning of May and June. And you do the math on that, 7, 8 months times $2,000 or even $1,500. It's a lot of money that you could be putting into the business. It is. I mean, imagine if I could put 1,000 to 2,000 a month into, what do I always talk about? Feed the beast, feed the beast, feed the marketing. Imagine if I was able to put another 1,000 to 2,000 into marketing right now, like the past 6 to 8 months, where we'd be right now. So, but it is what it is. Gotta live a little bit sometimes and gotta go through experiences. I mean, we're not hurting or anything. It's just, I'm hurting ego-wise because I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck were you thinking? You should have just stayed grounded for another couple years and then get what you want. But that's a maturity thing as well. Because I am young still. 26. Let's see. Bryson said, I'm trying to figure out what to name my business. We want to call it Mint. Should I call it Mint Pest Control or Mint Pest? If you're going to name, like, let's just say, like you said, Mint is the name. I would put Pest Control in it. If that's one thing that I wish I'd done differently, which technically speaking, I still could. I wish instead of saying preferred pest management, we'd say preferred pest control. Very subtle change, but makes a world of difference from overall SEO side of things. Or Mint Pest Solutions. Yeah, like I said, me personally, I would do like Mint Pest Control Service even. Mint Pest and Termite Control. That's another one you could go for. I would end it with control though, because you want to think about what people are searching for. Pest control, pest and termite control, termite control. In all honesty, pest and termite control would be what I would end it with. But if you want to keep it kind of shorter, then yeah, Mint Pest Control. That's what me personally, what I would go with. Again, just knowing what I know today. And I very well may still make that change at some point because it is such a subtle change that it probably won't piss Google off and, fuck up my listing or anything. But it does make a world of difference. There's another Mint Pest Control in Kansas City, and I'll be in Oregon. No, that won't be an issue. There's a preferred pest management. My cousin's pest company was named Preferred Pest Management. Now it's Preferred Pest and Lawn in Missouri. There's also a Preferred Pest Management in Iowa, I want to say, if I recall. Same thing with Preferred Pest Control. Funny enough, my grandpa's company's name is just Preferred Pest Control, and there's another Preferred Pest Control in Missouri. How that happens, I don't know, but there is another one, and then there's a Preferred Pest Control here in Texas as well. I think they're really far south, if I recall, like south of Houston, but it is one of them things where it's like, as long as you don't get to like uber national company size, if I were to just stay in the Dallas-Fort Worth area alone, I can grow in terms of gross sales to a bare minimum of a $5 million a year company. That's at the bare minimum. So, could we end up growing bigger than that? Of course. I'm 26, 27 years old. Man, I will be 27 this upcoming year. I'm 26, 27 years old. So, I got a long way to go on my journey. We could easily, we could go places I don't even have a clue of where we're going. But, you just address that stuff as it comes along. Yeah, mine is the Bug Man. Let me see. Oh, I think I missed your previous one, Bryson. I think because they're in another state. Yeah, you should be fine. Let's see. And by the way, use ChatGPT too. My brother was even talking about, because he was throwing around the idea of starting his own pest control business, just as like a one-man operator, like owning your own job type of thing. And he's like, man, ChatGPT came up with some good names. He's like, I'm surprised actually. He's like, it listed out like 20 of them, and he's like, I like 2 or 3 of them. Let's see. John said, yeah, mine is the bug man. There's definitely more. Yeah, for sure. Love it. Thanks for your input. Most definitely. Light Novel says, hola, I'm Goldfish on Discord. Um, oh, Goldfish. Yeah. It took me a minute. For some reason, I was thinking Twitch. I was like, I don't know Goldfish on Twitch. On Discord. Okay. How do you decide on your targeted audience? My brother runs a car dealership. He spends over $6,000 a month. Wow, good for him. On Facebook ads, he says that prompting people to message you. Yep. Yes. Yeah. He especially for a car dealership, 100% messaging is going to be the best. It's going to be the best in terms of response rate. That is actually what we've been running now for a couple of weeks. That was actually what I was just talking about probably about 10-15 minutes ago. And I mean, I was going over it today. Just today alone, we've got 4 new messages. This month we have 20 plus. Messages by far is the best, in my opinion, so far, at least in terms of overall response, conversion rate, that type of thing. Now, in terms of CPA, cost per acquisition of new customers, to be determined. We'll see. It's still very early on. I'm going to run a couple of different ad sets for us, for our pest control business, and see how it works. And that's another thing too, talking about it's a car dealership, every industry is going to be a little bit different, but one thing that I have noticed across the board, not just in the pest control industry, but across almost every industry, is prompting people, like you said, to message you is definitely the best to at least get a conversation started, if nothing else. The only reason I can figure that is, by the way, is little to no friction. Because, when you think about the biggest companies in the world that, get people to buy over and over and over, what are they best at? Little to no friction. Think about Amazon. How easy is it now to buy something on Amazon? You can literally pull up a home page now and see something that you want to buy without even searching for it. It's kind of scary, as a matter of fact. But, you literally see it, boom, click to buy now. That's another button that just took more friction out of the buying process. It's at your doorstep in 3 hours, right? So it makes sense that whenever you just simply have to click message and then boom, they get a response, especially if you have auto responses turned on and it gets the conversation going from the very beginning. It makes sense that, that's going to have a higher success rate, right? That's true. Yeah. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. It's a very good point too. Because that's something that a lot of people, when they create websites even, they create landing pages, things of that nature. A lot of people don't think about, sometimes you just need to take the fluff out. You just need to make it simple and very little friction. We used to have a form on our website as of just recently where people would be able to get an instant quote. Now, in my opinion, whenever it was first launched and going, looked great, I thought we were getting more leads. I was like, wow, we're getting more forms submitted than ever before. In reality, we were getting the same to actually slightly less forms submitted, but on top of that, and the reason I found out that it seemed like I was getting more was because my email notifications were off and I missed a bunch of forms from way, way, way back. Another crazy story. But the form, where was I at with that? The forms submitted were about the same to actually slightly less. And on top of that, our, what's the word I'm looking for? Our conversion rate in terms of like conversations started and customers sold were a lot lower because people had already gotten their price. So if they didn't like that price for whatever reason, or they were just simply pricing around, they wouldn't answer the phone. They'd block our number even, wouldn't respond to emails. We just wouldn't hear from them. So we got the worst of both worlds out of that. One, we got, like I said, less customers on the phone because they had already gotten the price up front, but also we got less forms filled out. Why was that? Because there was more friction. They had to fill out every little thing. What's your first and last name? What's your zip code? What's the square footage of your home? What services are you interested in? When would you, all these different questions. And a lot of people, they just want to simply go out there, fill out a quick form, first name, last name, phone number, email, what their issue is, boom. That's all they want to do. Car industry, I'm sure, like we said, it's a little bit different. There's some minor differences, but overall, same thing. We want as little amount of friction as possible in this, I want it now society. So, yeah, no, I think the message option is best. I have finally learned that. That is one thing where even if the company that I'm using for our Facebook ads right now, if it doesn't end up working out, I do have to admit that they did teach me that, if nothing else, that the message conversion, option where, and what we're talking about, just so everyone's clear, is, let's get out of here. How do we get out of this? And like I said, hopefully the stream's doing all right for you guys. Hopefully you all are enjoying it this evening. If you are, do me a favor. I see we got 7 or 8 of you tuning in. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. I see we got like 3 likes so far. The more likes we get, the more people end up seeing the videos and the streams and all that good stuff. Man, this stuff is loading super slow. Let me close out some things and see if that helps. I tell you what, sometimes I do not like how the interface of Facebook Ads Manager looks. So we're in campaigns right now. Let's see. What are we in right now? This is not. Oh, this is ad sets. Okay, here we go. So, your objective for that would be, we can go ahead and pull the chat back up here. Your objective, instead of having like lead generation, post engagement, traffic, which these all have their time and place. Post engagement, traffic, things like that. It's very cheap in terms of getting eyeballs on your posts. But, of course, your odds of getting actual customers, slim to none. And then, of course, you have lead generation. Ideally, those are going to work. They just don't work very well from our experience, where all of our message ads have resulted in lots of messages. So how this looks, essentially, let's see if we can find a way to pull this up here. No way to really see it, I guess. I wanted to see like what it looked like. Let me see. Let's just go into like edit, just so we can kind of show you guys what it kind of looks like. Oops, hold on. I think I saw where it said preview ad. Yeah, preview ad right there. So this is what your ad would look like with messages set as your, where's it at? Come on now. Preview. Okay, it's not showing us. So I guess we'll do it this way. We'll go back into edit. So see how it says learn more? that little, what would happen is people are going to click that, and then it takes them into, of course, Messenger, and then from there, they send you a message. So again, it's very little friction. They hit a button, boom, they're connected with somebody. So yeah, pretty straightforward overall. Don't have to be a rocket scientist really to do it. You just have to have a good hook, a good offer, a good hook and a good offer, and then you just take it from there. You can see, get this shit off my screen. This is just an easy example of kind of like your ad text. Hurry, spots are limited, that kind of thing. You can edit it as you wish, of course. And yeah, pretty straightforward. But yeah, I wanted to check real quick, and of course, if y'all have any questions, do not hesitate to put your questions in the chat. I just wanted to pull up the YouTube comments again really quickly to see if I have missed anything. There was one more comment, but it's a really long comment about someone that has a landscape maintenance license already that also is looking to become a structural pest control certified as well. And they're here in Texas, so that'll be relatively easy for them. I'll reply to that here in a little bit. But yeah, no. Just seeing if no more. Did I miss any? If we don't have any more questions or anything, we'll probably look to go ahead and start wrapping the stream up this evening. Of course, if you all have any questions or anything after the live goes from a live to an actual video, you can post it in the comments as always after that, and then I'll make sure to answer those questions, once we go live or, upload another video for you guys or in a short even. And like I said, we talked about Gorilla Desk as well as some other things tonight. If you don't already use Gorilla Desk, or you're looking for a CRM, or you have any other, website, or not website, but if you have any needs of any kind related to your business, we have a bunch of links that are helpful for you guys in my LinkTree. Down in the description box below, it just says my LinkTree, and if you click it, there's a bunch of helpful links in there for you guys. Let's see. Do you give an incentive to customers who refer your business? Yeah, we just offer a $25 referral credit. I've had a woman recently, an Asian, or some kind of like Asian or Japanese, something, over that way, who she started using us for commercial pest control, and she's referred us now to 2 people. So she's gotten like $50 off, 50 or 75 now off of her, next service. It's just a one-time. It's not like every time or anything like that. It's just a one-time credit. Like $20 off your next service if you refer. Exactly. Yeah. You just, whatever number, I even, when I was like very, very early on, I even would up it, like juice it up for them. I bet I get your next service for free, because how I looked at it was, I'm investing in my future for the company in terms of, I'm giving a service away in order to get, I'm giving up, say, $100 in order to get $500 over the next year. I looked at it just like I look at advertising at the end of the day. We're going to pay on average, $75 to $300 per customer acquisition advertising. So, why not pass that on to your customers instead of Google, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whoever you're using for advertising, because they're not hurting for money at the end of the day. So, no, I enjoyed it this evening. Hopefully you guys have too, and hopefully you all, as always, learn some things. Light Novel says, I'm offering a promo that waives the initial treatment fee One dude asked me if I was doing. Yeah, I'm guessing that was a Facebook one. I tell you, these people on Facebook, some of them, man. I've had one dude. He's been a serial commenter, is what I've called him. So you all in Discord probably seen the screenshot that I had already posted about this one cat who, he commented that, pretty much we should be doing general pest control $29 a month for a monthly service. And, I just told him straight up that this isn't charity, right? And we had a new ad set go out this week, and actually on the 14th, so right at a week ago now. And same dude apparently got this ad put in front of him, and he said, since we are playing the how low can we go game, I'm going to do $16 a month with one of my companies. Yeah, same guy, by the way. And he said, or not he said, I replied to him, and I just said, you're the same guy that commented on another post thinking that we do this for charity, so I'm not surprised with your latest comments. Yeah, people are crazy, man. Yup. Oh, I saw a real crazy dude. Yeah, same guy. And 16 a month, too. Like, I was sitting there doing the math. I was like, where the hell did he come up with 16 a month? Like, yeah, just weird. Have you ever had someone say that your spray treatment messed up their dog or pet? And what do you say if someone... I've never had it. I've had people, of course, ask, just out of curiosity, like, hey, could this kill my pet? Should I board my dogs up for a day? This and that. And I just tell them, everything that the label says. But I've never had someone, accuse us of, poisoning a pet or anything like that. Because if anything, I'm overly cautious. I tell them, I'm usually ahead of the questions first and foremost. I ask them first, do you have any kids or pets? This and that and the other. And, it kind of breaks the ice on that subject. But no, me personally, I've never had that happen. If I did, man, I don't know what I would say if I did. I mean, like I said, since I do a good job of staying ahead of it, if I ever did have that, pop up, I'd be like, look, we already discussed this whenever, you signed up. We don't do anything that's like going to be harmful to your pet. Now, if you're not abiding by our guidelines for, letting your dog back out, post-treatment and, all that stuff, then that's on them at the end of the day. A guy in my comments said his insurance pay for his pest control. I have heard, oh my gosh, because Terminex actually was in with this apparently. Oh my gosh, what do they call it? There are companies though that they will cover either like X amount of the cost or X number of treatments per year. Wow, it slips my mind. I cannot believe that I cannot think of what it's called off the top of my head now. But I forget if it's either healthcare or homeowners insurance. It's one of those two that will cover it. But yes, yeah, you're right on that. And yeah, that's the beauty of like Facebook ads too, is you can hide comments. Like people that comment that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, who cares? Like no one, like, as my brother smart ass always likes to say, I forgot I asked. Like, when like what is that? For most people, that's not the case. Have you ever had a crazy person write a bad? Nope, thank God. Not yet. I thought, in all honesty, how the hell I managed to not get a 1-star review by now is absolutely crazy, in all honesty, because there have been a few times where I have not like been rude or anything like that to people, but I'm direct. I don't really, I put up with a lot, like I tolerate a lot, but at some point, just enough is enough, right? I I guess we'll go to lowest. Yeah, lowest would be a 5-star. Um, yeah, I mean, we got nothing, literally nothing but 5-star reviews. Um, yeah, I don't know how we haven't at least gotten a 3 or a 4, if nothing else. But I almost, I'm to the point where I don't want to say that I hope I get a 1-star or hope I get a 2 or anything, but I almost hope I get like a 3 or a 4, something that's just kind of average. That way, I know me personally, sometimes when I look at businesses that have like nothing but 5 stars, I'm like, bro, there's no way. There's no way. Now, the great thing for me, though, is my customers are very, very thorough with, writing great reviews. I mean, they use my name very often. I don't necessarily care for, calling other companies out, but, it is what it is if that's how they feel at the end of the day. But they don't really lead that. And this is what blows my freaking mind about Google is my customers always leave reviews like this. And I had a customer just yesterday send me a screenshot of her review. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to pull this shit up. Let me see. Where's she at? Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up for you guys because it's not gonna really expose anything at the end of the day. I just gotta scroll really quick. Come on, hurry up. So where is it? Where did it go? Hold on. I know she sent it to me. She sent me a screenshot. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't show up right there. So she sent me the screenshot, and what's absolutely crazy is on her end, it shows we only have 100 reviews. We have 101, but they hid her review that she just left yesterday, and it's super thorough. 5-star review. She's left 3 reviews, 2 photos, so it's like there's no way that Google picked this up as like a fake review or anything. The review says, we'll definitely highly recommend this company. Love that it's a local company, very professional, great value, and great customer service. Griffin evaluated my property for potential issues, and I feel confident he will be tackling any pest issues that arise. And they haven't posted the review. And like I said, it's weird as fuck that it's only showing 100 reviews on her end. 101 still for us. But if you look at newest reviews, nowhere to be found. What the hell? Oops, my bad. I'm so confused right now. So the review is showing. It's saying 3 weeks ago. The picture she sent me yesterday shows posted just now. It literally says just now. Like, I can see where she took the screenshot right before, because I can see the time, 8:20 a.m., where she sent the screenshot of the freshly posted. I don't know, man. It's so weird. Google is so weird. My whole point with my rant that I was about to go on with Google, though, is we should have about 150 reviews right now, and there's a bunch that are not showing, or they will show, and then Google, out of the blue, will just take them down. And you're like, what? And we're not talking the reviews where it's just like 5 stars with no comments. We're talking 5 stars, detailed review, just weird stuff, man. Let's see. Do you know of any ways we can partner with these companies? Because that sounds like money. For like assuming that, it's healthcare or home insurance related. Unfortunately, it's probably a national company game only, because you gotta think, these companies, they're all big corporations that all circle jerk each other at their little satanic events. But no, in all seriousness, Yeah, unfortunately, I think you'd have to be a pretty big size company to get in on that. I compare it to, big commercial properties, right? It tends to be difficult to land some of the really big commercial properties just because, you're getting underbidded like hell from, the big guys ultimately. They don't even care if they make money on it. They're just trying to grow the top line at the end of the day. Not even keyword, I said top line, not the bottom line. They're just trying to grow their valuation. Um, let's see. If someone says they have bed bugs, do you treat for that kind of pest? Like, will you do heat treatment or fumigation treatments, or is that extra? It's not extra licensing or anything. I do chemical treatments personally. I mostly use Tempered. Occasionally, I'll use Alpine WSG, and Crossfire is another good chemical as well for bed bugs. Some people like to throw an IGR in there as well. Not even gonna get in on that whole crazy debate, but yeah, you can do chemical treatments as well. It's actually very similar to a flea treatment, just more in depth. A lot, obviously, you're flipping mattresses and box springs over and this and that, getting every little crack and crevice, getting behind curtains, getting behind curtain rods, getting behind picture frames. Like, it's very intensive, but my average chemical bed bug treatment only takes about 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, given I'm younger, so I can go in there and, I'm younger, I work out, not every day, but as close to every day as I, choose to. And, being young, I just go in there and just flip shit over. I mean, I always, jokingly tell the customer, yeah, you'll be able to tell I was here by the time I get done, because it's going to look like a damn tornado came through. Now, I don't literally leave the house looking like a tornado hit it, but, I have everything resituated, right? I try to lean stuff up to where it's going to dry. I'm not soaking anything, obviously, but I turn all the fans on and, try to set mattresses up against the wall and stuff just to where, there's air circulating, drying everything off quicker. Because, of course, we tell everybody you want to give it at least 4 hours before going back inside. However, we know that there's a good percentage of people that will not heed to that advice, right? So I try to do everything I can to speed up the process of things drying up as well. Like we said, we're not soaking things down or anything, of course, but, we just try to do it the best we can. And I have had great success with that. I've had, callbacks. We give it a 30-day warranty. A lot of people are like, why doesn't it come with a longer warranty? It's kind of like German roaches, They're not some pests that's just coming in from outside. They're hitchhikers, so all it takes is for you to go back to where you got them originally, and next thing you know, you got them again, right? So we warranty it for 30 days, and that's it. What's up, Puma Pros? Do you think there are better deals than 39, 45 with rodents, and 109 with rodents and mosquitoes monthly? Apologies if this has been discussed. We discussed it briefly. Not a big deal. I actually also pinned my link to the video about how we get 1,200 plus a year out of customers, which kind of goes a little bit into detail about this. But let me reread like how you phrased it. $39, 45 with rodents, and 109 with rodents and mosquitoes. I'm assuming you mean with the 109 option, like general pests, rodents, and mosquito. Correct me if I'm wrong there. That's kind of how I read it. I read it as $39 a month for like quarterly pests, $45 for quarterly pests with rodent, $109 a month with quarterly pests, rodents, and mosquitoes. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. As in, I'm making general pricing that seems profitable with those prices after expenses. So assuming that I am right, and like I said, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but let's see. You said, do you think better deals? I think the pricing's pretty spot on. Of course, like I always reiterate, it is going to be different state to state, suburb to suburb, area of the country, northeast versus southeast. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Of course, there's going to be some slight variances depending on which area of the country and this and that, obviously, and time of the year. In the winter, we always sell our shit for dirt cheap, in my opinion, and from my experience. Where in the summertime, when we're just slamming and jamming and we're lighter on time in terms of time available, it's supply and demand, right? Whenever there's not a lot of calls coming in and we got time to do work, we'll sell it for less. And whenever we're just slamming and jamming, we got mosquitoes, we got this, we got that, just nonstop. Obviously, general pest goes up. But yeah, no, I mean that sounds pretty spot on. I mean, in all honesty, the 45 a month with rodents is probably even cutting yourself a little short. I would say 49 to 55. But 45 is not bad. I mean, it's not like too cheap or anything like that. In your 109 sounds pretty spot on. For that type of plan, we usually started out at a minimum 99. Done it as low as 89 before, 2020 election unfolded. But, yeah, we usually start that out, minimum $99 plus, whatever your initial is and all that stuff. I'm assuming that doesn't include termite. Let's see, you said 109. Yeah, so I'm assuming that doesn't include termite. So if it doesn't include termite, I would even say you could possibly go a little bit lower if you wanted to. I'm not going to say you need to, though. I think if you're getting people to pay that, then, do it. You're not screwing them. It's not like you're saying 199 for that. 199, I'd be like, man, how the hell are you selling that? And how do you sleep well at night? But yeah, I mean, either way, 109, that's not bad. If you want to, like I said, if you feel inclined to run a quote unquote promo and discount it to as low as like $89.99, then go for it. I wouldn't do it consistently. That's the one thing that so many business owners, not just in our industry, but in general, mess up in doing is they run these legit like sales, not just nonstop. It gets the customer accustomed to, hey, if I just wait, I can get it for this price. And what ends up happening is you have these periods of spike, fall, spike, fall, spike, fall. Where instead, I would rather just have this slowly gradual, uptrend. So when you're doing your ads, be very careful about, ads, promos, things of that nature. Be very careful about, truly discounting your service. Usually, I don't know if you got, ever since I've owned a business, or even, been remotely in business the last 7 years or so, not just pest control, but just business conscious in general, I've noticed that a lot of advertisers, kind of fool people in terms of, Black Friday is coming up. That's one of the holidays they do it the most. They will upmark the hell out of a product, but then they discount it to make it look like it's on sale, when in reality, yeah, some things are truly on sale, but a lot of times, if it is on sale at all, it's usually such a minor amount that you're like, is this really a sale? Like, if you truly pay attention to it. And some people don't want to do that. Me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's all about delivery at the end of the day. As long as you're delivering a good product, good service, do what you got to do to get people to call the freaking number or submit a form or whatever you're selling at the end of the day. Obviously, we don't want to just straight up, quote unquote, manipulate people, but, to a large degree, you are manipulating people. You're manipulating them to do what you think is best for them. Now, as long as you're doing it for truly what you think is best for them, then, is that bad? That depends on, what your morals are, I guess. I mean, sometimes I think people are thinking too deep about it. Like I said, there's a fine line to walk with it. Like, there's straight up bad manipulation, and then there's, hey, we know we provide the best freaking service. Like, you truly believe that you provide the best freaking service, and you know it, like, you know it deep down that you do, then obviously you'll be willing to do anything within reason, right? To get people to want your service, want your product, whatever the case may be. But again, can't stress enough, there's a very fine line to walk with that. Like, you don't want to be just stupid when it comes to that, obviously. And there are some people there's quite a few, as a matter of fact, that, in my opinion, cross the line. I don't even think I hardly ever come up close to the line, but, it all depends on, like I said, what your morals are and where you draw that line, ultimately. But, no, like I said, hopefully you guys hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream tonight. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. I saw we're up to like 5 likes or something like that. It helps other people, find the streams, find the channel, all that good stuff that are looking to start and grow their business. As we wind down 2023 and look to start 2024 the next month or so. We're probably not going to go live tomorrow or upload a video. It depends. I actually need to get my schedule ironed out real quick. So, yeah, I definitely need to hop off here. But it depends. We may. If we do go live, I'll go ahead and let you guys know in Discord and Facebook as always. So if you're not in there, look in my LinkTree down below. You can join those. They're totally free to join. If you're not already subscribed, of course, do me a favor. Smash the, not thumbs up. Smash that too, of course. But subscribe below and hit the bell icon beside it. That way you won't miss any future uploads or live streams, anything like that. And if you're not following on TikTok already, do me a favor and go follow on TikTok. We're trying to get up to 1,000 followers over there on TikTok. It's been a slow grind. We've been right around 700 forever, but once we get to 1,000 followers over on TikTok, we'll be able to go live over there as well for those of you that prefer TikTok as well. So I appreciate you all tuning in as always. If you have any questions or anything after the stream goes from a stream to a video, just let me know down in the comments below. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in as well, Puma Bros. And like I said, I will see you guys in the next one. If I don't hear from you all before the holiday, have a happy Thanksgiving. Remember why we have the day off, the weekend off. Enjoy your loved ones, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one.